There's the chime. This is the chime to let you know that the light is turned green and the cars are moving. Okay, some people say that sounds like an airplane chime, but it's actually the same chime for auto lane change. That's exactly what it is, the exact same chime for auto lane change. It's pretty cool. I would like it to be a little bit different because it also kind of sounds like the proximity sensors as well. But I guess it's playing with the same, set of tones for the car in general. All right, so here we go. We'll engage autopilot. We're at 30 miles an hour here as the speed limit based on the map data. Restricted to 35 miles an hour in this particular instance. Now 30 miles an hour because that's the actual limit. And now you'll start to see a speed limit sign come up right up here, 40 miles an hour. You'll see it visualized on the touch screen, on the screen. And now the speed limit changes. So there's the recognition of the new speed limit, the posted speed limit, the visual speed limit, and then there's the actual adherence of that based on the visualization. So Tesla reading now using its cameras to read, recognize, and visualize the speed limit signs and adhere to them as well. So this is all good stuff. Good job on this one, Tesla. Good job on this one, Tesla. All right, guys, we're talking about the latest update, 2020.36. Pretty straightforward release in terms of the features, but pretty big in terms of the impact on the full self-driving suite and just the assisted features that it provides. Okay, so this is the big one we've been talking about for a while, and this is regarding speed assist and the ability for Tesla to read speed limit signs with its cameras. I'll link at the end of this video the original video I made of why your Tesla can't read speed limit signs. And these are, of course, talking about newer Teslas beyond 2016, I believe, for those that implemented Tesla Vision, the Tesla Vision cameras, which is a departure from the Mobileye cameras. There is a Mobileye patent. Mobileye is a major supplier and actually the front runner in camera-based full self-driving capabilities. Tesla is trying to catch up to them and surpass them, obviously, but they've got a lead because they've been in the game for a while. But they have a patent out because they're the major suppliers for just about the entire auto industry for supplying driver assistance features, the cameras that are used for all the types of assisted driving features that are out on most of the cars you have, Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, Porsche, whatever the case may be. They're all pretty much using Mobileye tech. And because of that, there's a patent that disallows other people to basically use cameras to read speed limit signs. That's something we talked about at length in the last video. So go ahead and check that out at the end of this video so you can learn more about it. So what we have here is Tesla's answer to that. Now, I don't know, and of course, everyone's going to speculate and people are going to come out the woodworks and say what they want to say in terms of whether this patent was an issue or not. But it's been several years and Tesla has not come up with a solution to have the cameras read speed limit signs. So our only inclination is to believe that that patent is indeed an issue. And until Elon or any representative from Tesla can tell us and publicly says that this patent wasn't an issue, I'm going to go with the assumption that it is an issue and that Tesla now has come up with a way to get around it by using an alternate method that circumvents the details of the patent or license the patent itself to be able to use their cameras to read speed limit signs. Okay, so that's the major feature. Let's zoom in here on the release notes and talk about it. We have Speed Assist. The notes say that Speed Assist now leverages your car's cameras to detect speed limit signs to improve the accuracy of speed limit data on local roads. Detected speed limit signs will be displayed in the driving visualization and used to set the associated speed warning. As usual, to adjust Speed Assist settings, tap Control, Autopilot, Speed Assist Limit. So this is the new feature that they're rolling out. This is bringing a visualization to the instrument cluster or to the display if you're using Model 3 or Model Y for speed limit. Okay, so this is the big update because now Tesla is going to not just use the map data that they've been using, which just says, hey, wherever the mapped areas are for speed limit zones, we'll be able to use that. It's also going to now be able to use the cameras to use the visual representation of what a speed limit sign is supposed to be. So if there is a conflicting data where the map data says 50 miles an hour, but the posted speed limit says 65 miles an hour, it's now going to adhere to the posted speed limit that it visually sees as a confirmation. So map data is really just a backup at this point, and we're going to primarily rely on the cameras and the speed limit posted signs that the cameras are now being able to read and see. So this is all good stuff. We're going to take this out on the road. We're going to do a long stretch. We're going to do a couple different examples and test out how it works. The next component of this update, primarily for us, and then we'll talk about what other people have gotten as well, is green traffic light chime. This is the ability for a chime to play when the traffic light you are waiting for turns green. If you are waiting behind another car, the chime will play once the car advances, unless traffic aware cruise control or auto steer is active. When traffic light and stop sign control is activated, a chime will play when you can confirm to proceed through a green traffic light. It tells you how to do it. And it says, note, the chime is only designated as a notification, and it is the driver's responsibility to observe their environment and make the decisions accordingly. Okay, so taking a look at that in the details. Autopilot, go to the menu. You have now green traffic light chime right here. Okay. Gives all the details. You can enable it. If you disable it, it won't sound. If you enable it, it will sound. Okay, so that's it. So we're going to check that out, see what it's all about. All right, guys, let's get it out on the road. Let's test out speed assist or speed limit sign recognition, as well as the green light chime, both the passive and active versions of that as well. Activate now. 35 mile an hour over. I'm going to keep it nice and tight today, as opposed to the wider sort of first person view, just nice and tight so you can see the instrument cluster, see what the car is doing at all times. Again, speed limit sign coming up. You'll see the visualization start to appear right here for speed limit signs. Perfect. That works as expected. And then the speed will adjust. So the speed limit basically adjusts and overrides the map data. So the map data may say one thing, but whatever the posted speed limit sign, that's what it's going to adhere to. I think my rumors have heard that speed limit zones for school speed limit zones are ignored entirely, which is kind of odd, but we'll take a look at that and see what that's like. I'll disengage here to show you the passive version. I'll just show you the active. There's the chime. Lets you know that the light is green. So this is with autopilot engaged. Tells me that the light is green. I'm going to continue forward. This is a wide intersection. Interesting to see what it's going to do. But it's newly paved road, so it sees the lines very well, draws the line, and continues through as expected. So very nicely handled there. Keeping an eye out on the instrument cluster here for speed limit signs as we pass them in real life and see what the difference is in terms of the map data. Again, 40 mile an hour. You'll start to see that sign come up as well. Here it is, 40 mile an hour, a little bit of a delay, as most things are with the visualization, but otherwise it's riding very smoothly nonetheless. This is the active chime, meaning that I'm coming across an intersection, a car is too far ahead of me, so it doesn't read off of that, and it just alerts my attention that you're going to be going through a green light. So very good to make sure that the driver is aware and alert of what's going on the road. I'm going to disengage so I can get over here into the lane here. I'll re-engage at the light. Now, without anyone in front of me, you'll start to also see the active version of this work. Stopping at the limit line. When the light turns green, it's going to give me an indicator that it's green. So I could be doing something else. It's going to warn me and say, hey, the light's green, you can go now. Or the light's green, pull the stalk so you can proceed through with autopilot / full self-driving. Does a good job of ignoring the turning lights here just for the lane that I'm in, so it knows exactly what light is applicable to the lane that I'm in. There goes the beep, acknowledge, and now I push through. Another one, acknowledge, I push through again. If a car was in front of me, I would have went straight through, but because there's no car in front of me, it's going to alert me. Now there's a merge coming up here, so I'm going to change lanes. job on the lane change. It's going to turn to a single lane here. Shows those barrels still as cones. Still trying to center me in that little funnel there, but still works nonetheless. And now we're on a single lane, if you will, with the double line in between. And we're going to go straight through. Again, freshly paved road here. So this is all good, nice and smooth, high visibility, high contrast for the darker pavement here. And we're good to go. This car should be close enough for it to recognize and go straight through the light. It's going to tell me that we have a speed limit zone restriction of 35 miles an hour. So no sign. This is the map data showing 35 miles an hour. But let's see what the next speed limit sign says. There's an obstructed speed limit sign for 25 miles an hour. Is it going to read that? Let's see. Doesn't appear to see it. Still keeps it at 35. So signs like that, it seems to ignore. Here's a school speed limit zone sign coming up here, 25 miles an hour. Do we show the sign on the screen? No. And we don't adhere to 25 miles an hour. So when it has the school speed limit sign, or when there's some other neon type of color around the speed limit sign, it does not acknowledge. It does not acknowledge. Okay, we're ending a speed limit zone for a school zone. Map data is not taking over, is not persisting, and the physical sign is not persisting. So some work to do here for Tesla in that regard, but otherwise, so far, so good. So you'll have to use your discretion when you go through a school zone. You'll have to disengage or lower the speed manually so you're going the appropriate speed through that particular zone. Okay, following this car, so we proceed straight through. No green light chimes there. Again, the active and passive one. If I was on nothing and just driving, there was the passive one. And then the active one is going to be when I'm on engaged in autopilot. Let's see if the speed limit changes. It's 35 right now. 40 mile an hour sign comes up and we see it. It appears here and now it takes over. See that? It appeared on the screen. Now it takes over. So that posted speed limit overrides whatever map data the car is riding on, which 35 miles an hour was the map data. 40 miles an hour was the posted speed limit. So it's going to follow that until it hits another speed limit zone where the speed is restricted in terms of map data, or another posted sign that says otherwise, something other than that. Great collision avoidance and awareness. Light turns yellow. We're going to slow down abruptly here. So it saw that the car in front of me was potentially going to impact a turning car. And so it sort of put on the brakes there. Okay, that plus the fact that the light was changing, did a great job, kept its composure. So really good stuff here by Tesla on this advanced driver assistance / full self-driving capabilities here with local roads, traffic lights, different traffic conditions, not on the highway. Give me the chime, remind me, boom, and I'm good to go. So again, that chime is kind of going to come as an advanced warning to someone blowing their horn at you because you're not paying attention at the light. That is the active version. And then there's also the passive version as well. If I get hit another light, I'm going to disengage. Coming up to another light, I'll signal that I want to proceed. And let's see what happens. Slowing down for the curve here, a little turn, very good. Another light, I'll proceed again. No problem. Again, trying to get caught at another light. Hopefully I do. Gives me the chime. I'm gonna actually turn into this lane right here. In advance. I was trying to get caught at a light, didn't quite get there. We'll choose another road, try to get caught at the light and see what happens in the passive version. Flashing yellow lights, recognized it. Slows down to 20 miles an hour because it says 20 miles an hour for the truck bus speed limit. That's interesting. The truck and buses are limited to 20 miles an hour, and it also puts us in 20 miles an hour as well, just because of that, and I can't go over that. So that's an interesting scenario where it doesn't distinguish. So now another one where it says truck and bus speed limit is 20, so it limits us to 20. Not a good situation right now because everyone else is going 35, 40. So not a good situation. So hopefully it can distinguish between, or maybe validate against the map data, whether or not cars, in this instance, for Teslas, are able to go above that 20 mile an hour speed limit. So interesting scenario there. Zooming back in just to give you some more detail on the instrument cluster. Very odd intersection, almost turning into the median on that one. That was very interesting. Again, 20 miles an hour, I can't override this with the stalk, so I have to disengage because everybody is behind me upset. And that was pretty crazy driving by this lovely gentleman in the Pilot. Good job, guy. I'm going to zoom out here to show you the passive green light chime where I'm not on autopilot. I'm just going to come to a full stop at this light and let the other cars go because they're in front of me, in front of the light. And when the cars go, that's when it's going to chime and give me the indication that it's okay to go and that the light is green. There it is. Good job. So I've driven some more, haven't encountered a speed limit sign yet. So I am still stuck while on autopilot or traffic aware cruise control at 25 miles an hour as the max. Cannot go over it, cannot surpass it. So this is, again, still an issue. I'll disengage just to not have everybody mad at me. The speed limit is actually 35. So I'll go right here just to keep up with the flow of traffic. But yeah, again, this is an interesting scenario. So if you're on local roads, this can prove dangerous depending on where you are. If you're going, a certain speed and then you start to slow down. The original hill that we caught this speed limit specifically for trucks and buses was on a bit of a windy downhill road that if someone wasn't paying attention, they could definitely slam into the back of us. So hopefully we can get this rectified and adjusted so that the speed limit sign can recognize the difference. Okay, so that's pretty much it in terms of what we got, just those two major features. Let's see what else other people have gotten for other cars in other countries. Driving visualization improvements. This is something that we've already had in the US. This is now moving out to other countries. This is going to be for Japan. It's going to be Model S, X, 3, and Y. Okay. We also have auto stop sign and stoplight warning. Again, we've had this for a while. It's now rolling out to now Australia, New Zealand. So you guys can start to see those coming into your cars. The green traffic light chime, that's been made available for most countries. And here's a long list of the different countries that it's available for. So just about everywhere. Canada is included in here. Different countries in Europe, Germany, everybody is getting this particular feature. So I think part of it might have been regulatory, but it's good to see that it's going out to everybody and it's not just limited. In terms of the details, it's for hardware 3 only so far, and it's for all the entire fleet. Okay, the speed assist improvement, that is only going out to select countries, not as many as the green traffic light chime. Here's a list of them here. Okay, US is here. Conspicuously missing is Canada. Canada is not included in this, which is kind of interesting. So Canada, you don't get this just yet for the entire fleet. And then again, hardware 3 is the stipulation here, the requirement here. All right, so now let's talk about suspension instrument panel display. We also have suspension instrument panel display. This is kind of a follow on from what the last update brought in terms of visualization of the adaptive suspension. This is now putting that visualization in the instrument cluster as an option. So this is something fairly new in terms of being able to show a driving visualization other than energy in the sort of instrument cluster for the Model S and Model X. But it's showing you what that visualization and animation is right there. Again, not very useful on a day-to-day basis. Not sure that we would use that even if we had it, but it's there nonetheless for those that want to be able to see that. I suspect in an engaged situation where you have Ludicrous Plus involved, meaning turned on, where you have that visualization of Ludicrous Plus and that adaptive suspension can create sort of a sense of engagement for a racing track type scenario. So that option is there. It's available for those with adaptive air suspension, which they call adaptive air control, for Model S and Model X only. Cruise set speed improvement, and this says quickly adjust the traffic aware cruise control or auto steer set speed to the current speed by simply tapping the cluster speedometer. You can still tap the speed limit sign to adjust the set speed to the speed limit. Okay, so this is primarily for Model 3 and Model Y. Let me get a confirmation. Here we go. Model 3, Model Y, where in order to set what your speed offset is, if you have one, or to adjust to the speed limit, you have to typically press the speed limit icon on the touch screen. This is saying you can actually touch the speedometer to make it a little bit easier, in addition to also touching the speed limit warning that comes up on the touch screen. Model S and X, we have a dedicated stalk, so all we need to do is pull that stalk, and that's going to hold it for a second, and that's going to automatically adjust to the speed limit or the offset if we have one set up. And again, just bringing your attention to what that looks like. When we talk about speed limits, we talk about the relative or absolute offset that you may have 10 miles an hour over, 5 miles an hour over. holding the stalk for S and X for a second while you're driving, while on autopilot or an adaptive cruise control, will automatically adjust to that particular set speed. Using the Model 3 or Model Y touchscreen, you're going to tap on the actual speedometer number or tap on the speed limit to set whatever that speed limit is, or the offset if you have one. Okay? And then pedestrian warning. The pedestrian warning sound has been updated due to regulations. We don't necessarily have pedestrian warning here in the US, or specifically, we don't have it in our car right now, but this one is specifically for Taiwan and China, and Model S and X, and Model 3 or MCU2 as the stipulation of the requirement. So that's what we got. So that's what everyone has. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think about this update. Let me know if there's any missing features. Actually, as I say missing features, I'm going to talk about one missing update that's not quite known here, and that is the passing through of the Google capabilities of showing traffic lights on the maps. Now, as you zoom in here, these traffic lights are going to appear here. This is specific to what Google has. Google has it on Google Maps, and Tesla is now allowing that to persist and pass through to the Tesla Google map here that you see here. So again, anything else you guys have noticed in this update that I might have missed, anything else in the navigation, in the UI, in the display, please let me know. Let's get it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Until the next time I see you, enjoy your day, enjoy your Tesla.